My name's Token D Rock here with another stream. Hopefully, all of you having a wonderful Wednesday. It is December 7th, 9:16 a.m. Central Standard Time for watching us live. Crypto market cap sitting at $841 billion. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 38.5%. ETH dominance sitting at 17.9%. We can see that the market seems to be going down just a bit regarding crypto. Bitcoin sitting above 16,800, a little bit lower from yesterday when it was hovering below 17K. ETH sitting at 1233, Binance Coin roughly at 284, Dogecoin 9.6 cents, Cardano 31.1 cents, Polygon at 88.7 cents, Polkadot at 532, Chainlink 687, Cosmos 964. Taking a look at the stock market, we actually are turning green for the day. We were red here. Hold on, I don't know why this is. I don't know why this always takes forever to load. It's one page. It's like my internet gets throttled when I want to stream for you guys. I don't get it, but nonetheless, Bitcoin has come down a little bit, like we mentioned just a minute ago. It was trading just under $17,000. Now we are retesting these lines of support right around 16,700, 16,800. Um, again, you did have a nice juicy opportunity to buy Bitcoin under 16,700 if you had a limit order. Bitcoin was in an over sold territory, so decent time to buy. Again, taking a look at the stock market, kind of what I was anticipating yesterday. I did say we come down here and then maybe retest over here somewhere to form a right shoulder of sorts, or maybe we come down a little bit further and then do that. I don't know. Personally, I think we're going to form this right shoulder, and then inevitably tomorrow going into next week, I think the markets are going to come down, anticipating the Federal Reserve potentially doing a 75 or 100 basis point rate hike. But we'll see. Taking a look at the daily, again, Bitcoin looks to have lost momentum. As you can see, we're having a series of more or less higher lows on the daily chart. Not a good look for Bitcoin. Taking a look at the DXY, dollar is actually downtrend in a downtrend here for the past 8 hours after topping out right about at 105.82. Obviously, time will have to tell about how this plays out, whether DXY rallies. But if it does, stocks and crypto will rally as a sorry. If DXY rallies, stocks and crypto will get wrecked. If DXY continues on a downtrend that it looks to be in, we could see stocks and crypto rally. For how long, I'm not exactly sure, but I think we are definitely going to be in quite the recession here in the next 3 to 6 months. If you haven't felt it already, you certainly will then. Headed over to Twitter for some news. Exactly 9 years ago today, China announced its first Bitcoin ban. 3,000 days plus of failure since. So, if you guys are unfamiliar, China has a tendency to encourage crypto, encourage Bitcoin, and then there's periods where they claim they ban it. Meanwhile, they're just stacking Satoshis behind the scenes. Nothing to see here. 25% of all Bitcoin has not moved in 5 years. Just let that sink in. Pretty much all this Bitcoin that's been held the past 5 years is pretty much in the green unless you bought exactly 5 years ago. Then maybe you're slightly in the red or just barely in the green. But good to see that there's a lot of Bitcoin that's not moving, not exchanging hands. In other news, Crypto.com partners with Coca Cola. I'm not exactly sure why Coca Cola partnered with Crypto.com. I feel like it'd be more fitting to do something like with Binance or even Coinbase, but especially considering all the uncertainty surrounding crypto.com and the Shiba token, along with CRO, their own utility token. I don't know. Coinbase to list Multiverse X, previously Elron, EGLD. Good for those holders. That'll pump a little bit as a result. Music and podcast startup Wavlake to integrate Bitcoin Lightning and pay artists in Bitcoin. I play a bit of music myself, so if I were an artist on that platform and I got paid in Bitcoin, I would be pretty exhilarated, even if it was just 0.001 per stream or whatever it may be. Like, we're talking sats, we're talking maybe a few thousand, few 10,000, maybe a few 100,000 sats. Just a reminder, there's a million sats in a Bitcoin. So imagine getting paid 25 sats per stream instead of a penny. Like, I'll take that any day of the week, if you ask me. After the FTX blow up, many think it set the industry back many years, but this is contrary to conversations I've had. Traditional finance capital allocators are seeing an opportunity to come in now while the cards are down, while the markets are down. They see Bitcoin and crypto is here to stay, and it's now been de-risked. Crazy how that works, right? Just a year or two ago, they were flooding the crap out of Bitcoin and crypto. Now they're buying it on their balance sheets. They're adopting it while the prices are low. Elon Musk says if the fiat system becomes overly restrictive, crypto will grow, not if. It's a matter of when. Jack Dorsey's block just invested in Gris Compute, which uses Bitcoin mining to build solar and hydro energy sources in Africa. Good on Jack Dorsey and Block. Good to see this innovation coming to Africa and providing people with work and an actual currency that works. That actually has functionality. It doesn't get depreciated or inflated into oblivion by central banks. Continuing on the news out of Africa, South Africa's digital-only bank, B Mobile, now allows businesses to accept cryptocurrency payments. Again, a lot of infrastructure is being built over in Africa regarding crypto. I think those people especially need it, considering they are most like they are most heavily impacted by the inflation that central banks basically the inflation that we see here is pretty bad, but inflation over there is significantly worse. So it makes Bitcoin and crypto that more attractive. If they can't get you to use CBDCs by choice, they make you use it by force. The Nigerian government has set a $45 per day on cash withdrawals in the country. Move is intended to push citizens to use Nigerian central bank's Naira, the country's CBDC. Nigeria has one of the highest rates of crypto adoption, but CBDC adoption has been incredibly low. It looks like we're having some streaming issues, pardon me. Iran is blocking the bank accounts of women who refuse to wear a hijab. Iran needs Bitcoin. Full-heartedly agree. Not critiquing their ways, their standards, their traditions, their customs, but I think more or less people should be able to do or express themselves the way they feel with or without a hijab. You shouldn't be ridiculed as a result. You shouldn't have your bank account seized or closed or frozen. It's ridiculous, you guys. CZ from Binance is putting out this tweet saying, "Don't download files. Compromised friends may send a weaponized Excel file with the name exchange fee comparison.xls. Contains malicious code, coded backdoor, and etc. Hackers targeting the cryptocurrency industry." This is coming from Microsoft security blog. What is going on? Even in the bear market, people are looking to steal your wallets. So be careful on any emails that you get from your friend that pertain to this. You see that in the subject or you see that in the email, probably don't click it. Grayscale is in some big trouble if they have to reveal where all the bitcoins are that back the Grayscale Bitcoin or the GBTC. How much y'all want to make a bet that they've been loaning the bitcoins backing GBTC? Can anyone propose a legitimate reason they won't show the address in the blockchain? It's ultimate irony that Grayscale let its chance don't trust verify, but then they refuse to allow verification of their own reserves. There's no security risk in revealing where the bitcoins are back in the GBTC. So don't even start with that BS with me. Full-heartedly agree. Is this one of the last dominoes we have to wait to see go under? See go under before things start rallying again. Kind of like how this guy has the bomb, the ticking time bomb from Mario, but it has a Tether logo. It's very fitting, especially pertaining to this. Another concern in crypto markets is regarding Tether. Ledger is releasing a new crypto cold storage wallet called Ledger Stacks. Here we have a clip of it being used. Essentially, the creator of the iPad, I believe, designed the Ledger Stacks. Has a bigger screen for people who are a little bit hard to don't have the best vision. Part of me maybe need to wear glasses. This is great for, in my opinion, like older people because uh, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't used my Ledger wallet yet. I haven't put any crypto on there, but like the screen's really small. So, and the one that I have is a bigger version. So I can only imagine like a 60, 70-year old like looking at the tiny LED screen, like, do I have Bitcoin selected? Do I have Ethereum selected? Which one do I have? Like I don't know why I did that voice, but um you get what I mean? Like, it's pretty hard to read if you're 60 plus years old and you're looking at a screen that's maybe in half an inch by 2 inches or whatever. I don't know. I think this is great for older people, but I'm going to do some more research and give you my take of this on a later date. This person asks, if I paid you $5,000 per hour to work on Christmas from 9 to 5, would you do it? A lot of these people are saying, oh no, they would gladly not take this pay. They would just sit at home, enjoy the time with friends and family. While I do agree, dude, for 5 grand, I'm sorry. Like most years, I would totally skip Christmas if I was making 5K an hour. Because do you realize how stupid 5,000 per hour is right now? We're talking $30,000 to $40,000 potentially after taxes, maybe like 27 to 30K. Do you realize how much Bitcoin, how much crypto, how much stocks you could buy? Like in some states, you could buy a house outright. Like it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere, but you at least have something to your name. So personally, I would do this. Maybe not this year. This is like the one year I would maybe not do it, but like then again, I don't know. Like uh having 30 to 40K to throw in the stock market would certainly change things. Um, Dylan Leclerc says, I think there's a decent chance that we are in the early stages of the next risk off move. Complacency across the volatility complex, large amount of short covering, calls for the start of a new bull market and risk, etc. Crack addict market is fiending again for up only quantitative easing. Yeah, well, they're going to be disappointed because we're going to be going only down for quite a bit. Major yield curve inversion right now suggesting big recession in 2023. Last time yield curve was this inverted was back in 1981. We're talking 41 years ago, you guys. It's insane. Right before the unemployment rate went to 10%. You're going to see unemployment rate crack 10%. I mean, with the particular way they count these numbers, I highly doubt it because unemployment's still, I'm not going to say it's low, but it's definitely not as they're basically suppressing the numbers with the way they calculate it. Another news, month on month, house prices dropped during November, and this is the largest they've dropped since October of 2008, which was essentially the beginning of the bear market back then. We had the '07, '08, '09 recession. Are we seeing a similar thing here? And by the looks of this, we're going to are we going to be experiencing a recession of the magnitude that we saw back in the '80s? Only time will tell. I was not alive in the '80s, so I couldn't tell you how bad that was. But maybe I'll ask both my parents and ask them if they um, if they have anything of significance to point out about that period of time in their life history. I don't know. Current situation, stocks are trading like the Fed won't pivot. Bonds are trading like the Fed pivoted. Gold is trading like inflation is 15%. Crude oil is trading like we're in a recession. VIX is trading like we're in a bull market. Things still don't add up. Yeah, it's because we're getting mixed messaging from the Fed. If you listen to what Jerome Powell said, he was delivering some dovish rhetoric, and the market got excited. But I think the market will be surprised to see that the Fed will probably continue with rate hikes throughout at least the first half of 2023. But again, time will tell. Update, Biden said he plans to refill the strategical petroleum reserves when oil prices get down to $75 a barrel. Many felt it was impossible to reconcile with OPEC plus price target of $100 per barrel. JP Morgan has a $160 target. We are clearly headed toward a recession as oil is now under $75 a year to date low. So to put things into perspective, we saw something similar out of oil back in '07, '08 before prices skyrocketed to the moon, before gas prices mooned essentially. Um, because essentially they have to lower the prices because there's less demand. And if there's less demand, that means there's less things going on in the economy. There's less activity, which means a recession's on the horizon for sure. Um, and then on top of that, Russia's considering a price floor for oil sales in response to the G7 cap. So essentially, the G7 met the other day, was like, well, we want Russian oil to be capped at this price. Well, you know what? That ceiling that you want for price, well, I'm putting the floor price up here. I'm putting it, maybe $10 to $25 higher per barrel than you guys want. You guys are going to pay for it because you guys need the oil. And you know what? Just like with the inflation being transitory and stuff, they're not telling us the whole truth. The fact that Zelensky is named Time Person of the Year just tells you how upside down things are. It's disgusting. This man is an actor. He's not a war general by any means. And you know what? The war in Ukraine's driving a lot of politicians to say, well, if you can't afford $5, $6 a gallon of gas, just get an EV. And you know what? A lot of their voters are like, mining for coal, forget about that. But you know what? Mining for lithium, cobalt, nickel, copper, manganese, iron, graphite, indium, terbium, unobtainium. Is that even? I don't know if that's even a mineral or whatever. But like, come on, you guys, like our element. Like, how is that any better for the environment? If anything, it's harder to extract from the ground compared to coal and oil. So I don't see the whole virtue signaling. It kind of falls flat. And just remember that Fauci lied about masks. For example, on March 31st of 2020, Fauci was sent an evidence review confirming there was no evidence that masks worked. They even discussed in a meeting that day. 3 days later, on April 3rd of 2020. He says everyone should wear masks, later claiming this change. Science didn't change in a few days. He just lied. And he just lied like all these other people. They want you to forget. They're literally gaslighting you, you guys. Nobody said you wouldn't get COVID if you're vaccinated. Well, Dr. Anthony Fauci said when people are vaccinated, they're not going to be infected. Nobody said you wouldn't get COVID if you're vaccinated. Oh, really? What about Joe Biden? What about Rochelle Walensky? Joe Biden says you're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations. Director of the CDC, Rochelle Walensky, says vaccinated people do not carry the virus and don't get sick. Rachel Maddow, news pundit over at MSNBC, says now we know the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops. Bill Gates, a quote unquote expert on medicine and science, says everyone who takes the vaccine is reducing their transmission. Pardon me. Albert Bourla, Pfizer CEO, who's nowhere to be found right now because the truth's coming out about the jabs. He said there's no variant that escapes the protection of our vaccines. And it turns out they all lied. Wow. And these people are in high positions of power. Does that tell you something? I don't know. All I know is you should never take health advice from a person who is obsessed with depopulation. This guy seems like a eugenicist by the looks of things. Bill Gates sends $7 billion to Africa that will promote abortion as population control. Oh, and it's not just that. He not only owns the most farmland in America, but he also has been taking control of the global production and warehousing of seeds. I made a comment earlier today saying, anyone see the latest Jurassic World? The villain in that movie closely resembles Bill Gates, and he creates GMO locusts that destroys wheat slash produce that is not his or his companies, their produce. Gates controlling production and warehousing of seeds, on this massive of a scale, sounds like a precursor to that villain's story arc. But maybe it's just me, maybe Bill Gates is a great guy. Maybe we should just trust him. Again, another example of them gaslighting you. FDA claiming in a court of law they never said it was a horse drug or that you shouldn't use it. Remember this: you are not a horse. You are not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it. Like, how degrading is that? Like, just assuming everyone's from the South or from the country. Seriously, y'all, stop it. Stop taking horse dewormer. Like, the condescending tone is ridiculous. And they all did it. A lot of news show hosts kind of ran with this and just accept it for fact. Because of this tweet, Jennifer Sai says Daniel Kotzen was permanently banished from Twitter. He stated fact and then expressed his opinion of that fact. Elon Musk, why has my husband still not been allowed back on the platform? Why is Twitter still suppressing free speech? This is the tweet that violated the quote unquote Twitter rules. Myocarditis, uh, pericarditis, blood clots, and strokes are known potential side effects of the jab. That is not my idea of safe. Speaking of who Elon Musk should reinstate on the platform, we need Dr. McCullough back on here. We need Dr. Robert Malone back on Twitter. Elon Musk, please make it happen. If you are this so-called arbiter of truth that you claim to be, make it happen. Reinstate a lot of people that were shadow banned or censored over the many years that Twitter was essentially occupied by Democrats and like-minded individuals. Please make it happen. Dr. Eli David, Australia, another democracy turned into clownship, and children are paying the price for it. Sick kids turned away from hospital, while unvaccinated nurses are still banned from working. Victorians fuming as sick kids are denied health care, while fully qualified nurses are unable to work due to antiquated COVID rules. Yeah, isn't that crazy, you guys? Remember when they told you 2 weeks to slow the spread? Remember when they told you we just need to lock down for 2 weeks to slow the spread? That way the hospitals aren't overrun with sick people. That way our nurses can take care of these people adequately. Meanwhile, a year after the beginning of the pandemic, nurses are getting fired left and right for not taking a medical procedure. Like, make it make sense. Like, my goodness, this is madness. Brett Weinstein says a big week in biomedicine, a study in the biomedical journal, I believe that's what it means, shows